Members of the Saginaw Underwater Explorers made their annual trip to the Alger Underwater Preserve in August of 2012. It is about an 8-hour drive from home in mid-Michigan and includes crossing the 5-mile-long Mackinac Bridge, which opened in 1957. The bridge connects Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas. The drive skirted the sand dunes at the north end of Lake Michigan and continued west along US 2 through the Upper Peninsula. After passing through Blaney Park, a resort town with roots dating to the 1890s, it wasn't long before the group and their 2 boats arrived in Munising. The divers soon hit the water for a quick Friday night dive on the Bermuda. The Bermuda is a 130-foot long wooden schooner that sank in October of 1870. It is popular with sport divers because of her shallow depth and well-preserved condition. The wreck is upright, with the top deck in only about 12 feet. There are 3 large hatches open to the cargo hold and 2 companionways, so minor penetration is possible if you feel comfortable doing it. This is an excellent wreck for the newer diver. Because of its buoyed location in Grand Island's Murray Bay, the winds of Lake Superior seldom affect the dive location. The Alger Underwater Preserve is one of Michigan's 12 underwater preserves and is located near the city of Munising on the south shore of Lake Superior. Michigan's preserves total over 2,300 square miles of Great Lakes bottomlands, an area nearly twice the size of the state of Delaware. The area is also home to the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, which stretches for 42 miles with its soaring sandstone cliffs and miles of sand beaches. Saturday morning dawned as a gorgeous day, with blue skies and a light offshore wind. We trailered the boats through the Pictured Rocks to Grand Marais at the eastern end of the preserve. The Kiowa was our destination, out through the breakwater and past the Grand Sable banks and dunes and the Osable Point Lighthouse. The Kiowa is about a half-mile offshore along 12 Mile Beach. The remains are in shallow water, about 30 feet deep. Huge sections of her hull are visible from the surface on clear days. We had a good GPS fix and was able to hook the wreck, which is not buoyed. The bottom was sandy, with great visibility for fresh water. The ship launched in 1920 at Wyandotte, Michigan as an ocean-going steamer. The Kiowa was a grain-carrying steel bulk freight steamer, 250 feet long, that was driven ashore in a gale on November 30th, 1929. The shifting of her unstable cargo of flaxseed made her unmanageable, and she went aground on Au Sable Reef. Five lives were lost, but the other 16 crewmen were saved in a courageous rescue effort. About 80% of the ship's hull and most of the machinery may still be seen, though all of the superstructure is gone. The stern lies on her port side, exposing the steamer's steering quadrant and an emergency steering gear. A short distance forward, an enclosed ladderway leads down toward the propeller shaft tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, the propeller shaft and massive thrust bearing can be seen. I am always amazed at the force required to twist and bend heavy steel beams. After a morning of diving, we pulled into a sheltered cove for a chance to stretch our legs and enjoy lunch. Mark and his son did some beachcombing while we went out for another dive. Sunday was a dark and rainy day. Due to a broken zipper on my dry suit, I didn't get a dive and thus no video. Monday, however, dawned clear and calm. We were on the water by 8 a.m. as we headed out to the Smithmore. As we dropped down the mooring line, the deck appeared. We settled in at about 80 feet. There's a lot to see, and we only had a chance to make a quick swim around the perimeter of the ship. The Smithmore is perhaps the best known shipwreck in the preserve. The 260-foot, three-masted wooden steam 80 with the James Pickens and sank on July 13, 1889, while being towed in by the M.M. Drake to Grand Island. The wreck rests now in about 80 feet of water. Most of the ship is filled with sand, leaving the deck about level with the lake bottom. There has been limited visibility on our previous dives. This year it was much better. There was a large amount of equipment to be seen, and it gives you some insight into what a sailing ship looked like. In the bottom picture, you can see one of the broken mast stumps as Mike swims past it. Many of the wreck sites located in the preserve are protected from the fury of Lake Superior by Grand Island. Very seldom are dive trips canceled because of the weather. Our last dive of the trip was on the Manhattan, a steamer which was headed from Duluth to Buffalo. She sheltered behind Grand Island because of gales in October of 1903. When the weather moderated on the night of the 25th, the Manhattan headed for the open lake. Around midnight, her steering chain broke, causing her to strike a reef near the channel along Grand Island. After striking the reef, a fire broke out. The crew was rescued and the steamer burned to the water's edge. The Manhattan and her cargo of 76,000 bushels of wheat was a total loss. Her hull was largely intact, with scattered timbers and a huge rudder. She rests on a rocky shelf in about 20 feet of water. The ship was built in Detroit in 1887 and measured 252 feet. She had 2 decks and 3 masts. Iron straps crisscrossed her hull under her planking to provide additional strength. Innovative for her time, she had a steel boiler house, steam pumps in the windlass, and electric lights. Much of the wreck was apparently salvaged in 1905. This included her engine, boilers, and the coal from her bunkers, but the burned out hulk herself was too difficult to move without great effort and expense. Divers of any skill level will find something to match their ability. The water is cold, however. A wetsuit is a must, with a dry suit recommended. All too soon, our time was up. It was a long drive home, made easier by the memories of a great weekend.